So, like when I ride, these three things are always on top of my mind, right? So it's like position, vision, and action. Like from a skill set perspective, I can't remember too many things, too many techniques, too many skills. So I have like this fundamental trifecta. Like these three things I'll keep in mind. Like how's my physical position? That kind of helps me understand whether I'm in a safe space or whether I'm in possibility of danger. Because a lot of times off-road especially, we assume that we will be in danger if the environment is dangerous, right? That's the first assumption, that okay, if it's a treacherous terrain, if it's like a difficult passage, if it's like something gnarly, then I'm in trouble, then I'm in danger. But like I always think that that's external. Internally, if I'm not in the right position for that particular kind of a situation, I'm in danger. Whether even if the situation isn't really terrible, but if I'm not in the right position contextually to that situation, then I'm in danger. So that's why kind of this is more like an internal check mark for me, that okay, how's the position? And a lot of this is easy to tell because of like the body kind of signals. So if I'm getting an arm pump, that means I'm not holding the upper body right. If I'm getting a lower back pain, or if my calves are hurting, then that means I'm not something amiss with my position, right? So a lot of it, like it's easy to put it down to just saying not fit, but then that's like a very generic statement, pretty vague. So I need to identify specificities of where I'm going wrong, what am I doing wrong. So kind of like for me, it's like a checklist I will maintain during the ride, so that when I go back home, like I can sit down peacefully, or post the ride like this, we can sit and like I can think, okay, at some point I was feeling this lower back pain for a while, maybe my butt position is not right, maybe I'm not leaning far back, or maybe I'm leaning too far forward. So I kind of do like a analysis of what could have possibly gone wrong. Likewise, in the middle of the ride, there's this vision part of it that plays a big role. I have spectacles, so it's not like my vision is great, but the saying, right? You go where you look, right? So, and a lot of time the target fixation kind of sends you straight into the position where you are trying to avoid. So like for me, it's like I have to keep that reminder that okay, one good thing is look as far ahead as possible, because that's that's when you are not too caught up in the details. The other thing is you're also looking close by, because once in a while you need to know, maybe there's some rocks, maybe there's some slippery terrain, something. You need to have an idea of what's happening in front of you. So in my head, I'm kind of trying to look like 100 meters ahead at least, and at the same time I'm trying to look 10 feet ahead of me at least, right? So I keep oscillating my eyes between as far as possible and as close as probable. Like I don't want to like look too close, because that will get me into a fix of a different kind. So the vision part is essentially this, oscillating between far vision and close vision. And also once in a while I kind of peripheral vision, I make sure I don't just get blinkered in and I'm only looking here, because at the end of the day we are not riding closed circuit races, we're riding open trails where anything can go wrong, and villagers can come by, dogs, cats, cows, whatever, and we don't want to be a liability to the locals, because the locals essentially, it's their terrain, we are intruding into their space, we are the intruders. So it's nice of them to be welcoming enough to allow us to play in their playground. So the least I can do is be mindful, respectful, and aware of what's going on around me. So I also add in the peripheral vision, so that I make allowances for some sort of error from other people's side. And the last part is like the action part, right? So for me, the action part is essentially playing with the physicality, knowing how to make the right moves, and also the nuance and finesse with which I can touch the throttle and clutch. Like I don't want to jam the brakes, because then obviously I'm going to fall. I don't want to like pull the clutch softly. I need to pull the clutch softly. If I pull it too fast or let it go too fast, then I lose traction. So for me, a large part of the action is essentially playing with finesse, playing with grace. Also the thing is, like, I feel like this is for me an artistic endeavor, right? It's not just about sending it as fast as possible or getting the gnarliest footage for the gram types. I want to constantly use this as a hobby for me to grow as a human being. Like, how much finer can I get with my throttle and clutch control? How smoothly can I climb up a particular slope? I just don't want to just send it up the slope and then like feel really cool about, oh, I did it. Yeah, I mean, like, that's awesome. That's like the first time. Then I'll try to go back again. I have this thing, like, I like to do the same lines again and again. Or I try to do the same sections again and again with different lines, right? Or if I'm doing the same line, I'll try to do it with more ease, with more comfort, with more grace. And a large part of why I like to record my own videos is so I can look back and see whether I did a decent job, whether I did a good job, whether I did was good, bad, ugly, whatever. Like, for me, video is a large part of the feedback loop that I have for myself. And the best part of it is because I have that footage, I can even share it with experts when I meet them and say, hey, what do you think about this, right? So that way I have something to talk about with them. Otherwise, I don't want to just, like, I don't care about fanboying over someone who's really good or who's super accomplished. That's awesome, that's great for them, but it doesn't mean anything to me. What it means to me is if they can share something with me and then I can learn and I can grow, and if that kind of helps them, because at the end of the day, when you're getting better and better at the game, you're meeting less and less people to play with in the playground. Either they become your competition or they're not up to the mark, so they're kind of holding you back and you're not able to enjoy yourself at that level. So I feel by actually getting better at my own game, I'm also contributing to other people's game, because now they have someone fun and skilled and capable to ride along with, right? So in a way, I'm getting better at my game for myself, to feel good about my art, my craft, and also to be able to offer a competent, engaging experience when I ride with others, right? Not only do I not want to be a liability to others when I ride with them, but I also want to be helpful, beneficial, and an inspiration at times. Like, maybe I'm doing better than the others, and then people are like, hey bro, if he could pull that off, maybe we can too, right? So for me, all of this is like super important, because for me, this is a multiplayer game. I mean, like, I can ride, like, the whole highway thing for me, when I did motorcycling on touring highways, stuff like that, it was solo, because I didn't enjoy like massive group rides, and even I didn't have a close circle to call my own and say, okay, 3-4 of us will head out into the hills. So I just took the easy path. I said, I'll ride solo. But in off-road, you riding solo is a liability to the environment. Like, if I fall, I'll have to call emergency services, friends, family, local villagers. I'm essentially upending everyone else's life around me. And if I ride together but I'm a liability, then I'm holding others back from playing to their peak potential. Considering all this, for me, it's a good, fun experience to play with others as well. Like, we're having a good time here, we're chatting, we're engaging, pulling each other's leg, or maybe we're like pushing each other and supporting each other, saying that, hey, you know what, why don't you try this? This looks like something you can do, right? Sometimes it's challenging, like saying, hey, I bet you can't do that, right? So I may not want to do it, or I may be scared to do it, but if someone challenges me, maybe I'll do it. Or the other way around, someone else around me might be scared and I'll be like, I bet you can't do that, and then you kind of push each other around. So this to me is like a real valid reason to play together off-road, have fun, engage with each other. And also the last thing is, the older you get, the lonelier life becomes, because very few people are still around, whether they're close friends or family. Very few people are around to meet on a regular basis, and even if you do manage to meet, you have nothing in common left to talk about, right? So then, it's just like, okay, so you may just land up talking about which surgeries you got, what injuries you had, what medicines you're taking, right? And what is the fee of your child's school and things like that. It's always around things that are not really fun. So I'm like, if we are able to share a fun activity, and that activity allows us to get outdoor into the wild like this and enjoy, it kind of reminds me of being kids. Like, we used to everyone used to grab their cycles, go call each other from their houses, hey, come, let's go cycle, right? To me, this is just an adult version of that. That's all we're doing. We're just a bunch of grown-ups acting like kids. And, our toys have gotten more expensive. The consequences and risks have gotten more expensive. but but it's a whole lot of fun, and we're all in this together, man. So here's welcoming all of you. Come play with us at Muddy Waters. We're just a bunch of middle-aged dudes who are rekindling and reimagining our childhood in a way that is fun, safe, sustainable, and exciting. Right? It's challenging, it's exciting. At the same time, there is a safety net, so you're not going off the deep end. But at the same time, it doesn't feel so safe that you feel bored and you're like this doesn't make any difference. So we're trying to straddle that sweet spot. Come join us, ride together, have fun.